Are you holding some cryptocurrencies that make your stomach hurt? You bought them at much higher prices than they are now. And day after day, you're looking at your portfolio and you're asking yourself, should I just sell? Should I just give up? You're looking at Bitcoin at 19,000. You know you bought much higher. Should you just sell now? You're looking at XRP, you're looking at BNB, you're looking at Solana, knowing that you bought at a much higher price. Should you sell now? Should you just wipe it clean and start fresh? You're tired of that feeling in your stomach? Well, in today's video, I'm going to give you the 3 simple steps of when to sell your altcoins. And we're going to talk about the scenario that you're in, buying at a much higher price than it is right now, and what you should do. We're going to cover some of the most famous altcoins in today's video, and I'm going to give my analysis on each. And we're going to cover 3 simple steps of when to sell your cryptocurrencies. What I want you to do first is pull up a chart like this. Okay, we're going to cover Bitcoin first. We're on the 3-day chart. We have the 50 MA, the 200 MA, and the 100 MA that you can get from the indicators. And we just colored them each here. We also have the RSI below with a level at 70. In our 3 simple steps, we're going to start with step 1. Okay, let's say that you bought Bitcoin back over here. Maybe you bought at 25,000. Right? And we're going to cover if you bought at 50,000, 55,000, what you should do in a moment. But when you bought Bitcoin, maybe you bought at 25,000. Now, what you want to do is the first step to your strategy is how much profit do you want to make? You need to have that understanding before you buy. And if you're a swing trader, it's a good idea 20-25%. So when you buy, you enter a swing trade. When it goes up 20-25%, you sell, everybody's happy. You have profits, everybody's good. You're out of your position. If you're more long-term, you can even think of a 50%, 75%, or if you're aggressive, double 100% return of your money. Okay, so number 1, when you enter a trade, you want to know when you're going to take your profits. That needs to be established before you buy. Now, if you want to sell, we have to implement multiple rules, right? So sell number 1 is you get that return that you were looking for on your initial investment, okay? So again, we're going to cover it if you're somebody who bought around 50 to 55,000, what you should do. But rule number 2 is you need to sell if it's above these moving averages. Okay, when we're below these moving averages, it's a different story, and we'll cover that in a moment. But if you look at the history of Bitcoin, we spent a lot of time above these moving averages, right? Especially during the bull run, above these moving averages and above these moving averages. What we want to discuss now is when we're above these moving averages, it's generally speaking a good time to sell, all right? When we're below these moving averages, it's generally a good time to buy. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. But if you put these 3 simple moving averages on, even when we look at Solana, even when we look at Ethereum, even when we look at XRP, even when we look at DOGE, it's all the same. When we're above these moving averages, it's a time to take profit. And you may say, well, okay, if I bought at 25,000 and I wanted to double my money and I sell at 50,000, well, aren't I going to be incredibly stressed out because it didn't stop at 50, it went up to 60? Absolutely not, because you're going to look like a superhero. We didn't continue up from 60, we crashed down, and you locked in your profits, and now it's a good time to buy, and you can multiply your money, right? Now, rule number 1, establish when you want to sell. Rule number 2, you can't sell unless it's above the moving averages. And what we need are 3 distinct yeses, and then we can sell. So we've established our profit. We've established when we can sell above the moving averages. And our 3rd step to the equation is this guy down here, the RSI. And you can get the RSI from the indicators here, and you're going to put this white line here at about 70. And we need everything to be true. Okay, so let's go back to our theory that we bought at 25,000, and let's say we wanted to double our money. So it gets up here to 50,000, and you ask yourself, okay, we doubled our money. That's checkbox number 1. We've established that goal. We are above the moving averages, check mark number 2. Now, the 3rd step to the equation is we also have to be above here. above 70 in the RSI. Okay, so you can see here on February 18th, we were definitely above the RSI on 70 at the same time that we doubled our money, and at the same time we were above the moving averages. So we have 3 yeses. We are able to sell. We doubled our money, above moving averages, and above the RSI 70 at the same time. That's what you want to do when you enter a trade. Now let's take that same approach and same logic and apply it to Solana. Let's say you bought Solana down here, right? Maybe at $20. You bought Solana at $20 and you said, okay, I don't want to be a swing trader. I'm not looking for 20 to 30%. I want to be a more long-term mindset and I would love to double my money, right? So you bought at around $20 and you wanted to double your money. So we've got to go up to when it was at $40 around here, right? And you ask yourself, okay, this happened really quickly, doubled my money in the span of, weeks, and we're above the moving averages, check box number 1. We established our initial goal, check box number 2, and at the same time we were above in the RSI, check box number 3, and you would have sold there. Let's say that this is a altcoin that you wanted to be more long-term, right? You thinking even into the future, years ahead, and you didn't want to just double your money. Maybe you wanted to triple your money, you wanted to quadruple your money. You need to establish that goal when you buy, and it depends on how often you want to be in and out of trades, right? If you're a swing trader, you're in and out 1 or 2 weeks, right? If you want to be more long term, you could have easily established that rule here. Let's say you bought at 20 and you didn't want to sell unless it hit $80. So you establish that goal before you buy. I'm buying at 20. I'm not going to sell unless it hits 80, whether it's this year, next year, the year after, I'm selling at 80, period. So you establish that goal, right? Then you follow your rules. So did it reach 80? Yes, it did. It reached 80 around here. And you may say, okay, was it above the moving averages? Yes, it was. That's checkbox number 2. Was the RSI above 70? Yes, it was. Checkbox number 3, you're able to sell. Now, what's fascinating and what we noticed so far, when we have these moving averages on and the red line gets to be on top, that's when it's a good time to buy. And when we look at Bitcoin's history, look back here to 2015, right? When the red line gets to be on top, that showed us it was a good time to buy. And I'm going to show you what it says about altcoins as well. But look at the red line on top, good time to buy, probably the best time ever. Fast forward a handful of years, red line was always at the bottom. When the red line battles to get on top, pretty damn good time to buy, okay? And again, we'll use that theory again because the red line on the bottom, battle, red line is now on top. Pretty damn good to buy. Now let's take that approach and cover it with Solana because the red line is about to be on top. Pretty damn good time to buy. Now let's go to our next chart, Ethereum. We have our rules, and a little bit later in the video, I'm going to cover folks that bought near the top of Solana, near the top of Bitcoin, and we'll have some new rules for you to follow there because you may be feeling that feeling in your gut of looking at your portfolio. Hey, maybe you bought Solana up when all this hype was going on, maybe at around 100, 120, 130, and you're like, what the hell do I do, Steve? You're just covering these 3 rules. I'm not allowed to sell now, but what do I do? Do I just hold on forever and be depressed every day that I'm looking at Solana? I'm going to have some rules for you in a moment, but let's continue our rules with Ethereum. So let's say that you bought Ethereum late. Maybe you bought it at $2,000, okay? You bought Ethereum late, it was hyped up, $2,000, and you have this long-term goal. You don't want to sell until it's 6,000. You don't care if it's this year, next year, the year after, the year after that, the year after that. It doesn't matter. You will sell at 6,000 and you're just going to hold. And you may say, okay, well, we didn't reach 6,000 and now we're below these moving averages. So you're holding tight, right? Yes, it's going to be gut wrenching. But when we look at the facts and the charts, we've got this sneaky red line that just crossed up, okay? And we've had that red line before in other coins, including in Ethereum. We just had this red line come up, which is potentially a good time to buy. and you're waiting for that 6,000 price, you're being patient. You're not in the day to day. You're not checking prices every day. You're just staying clear. You've got your goal and you have your check marks in line. It has to be above these moving averages and it has to be above here. So let's say that you bought Ethereum a little bit earlier. Let's say you bought around here, maybe around $1,000, right? So you bought Ethereum around $1,000, and let's say you wanted to triple that, and you're not going to sell unless it hits $3,000. Okay. So if you establish that goal before you bought, you're making a more long-term investment. This is not a swing trade. You're going to sell at $3,000 if it meets your rules. And let's see, when Ethereum got up to 3,000 was around here. Okay. And you may ask yourself, okay, I've established my goal, checkbox number 1. I'm above the moving averages, checkbox number 2. How about the RSI? RSI is right here, checkbox number 3. So the RSI is the relative strength index, and it just measures overbought and oversold. And we want to sell when everyone is buying. We want to do the opposite of the herd. This peak here, this is when everyone is buying. It's overbought. And when everyone is buying, it's a telltale sign for us to sell. And you may say, well, doesn't that sound like the reverse? Isn't that the opposite? When everyone is selling down here, it's the best time to buy. Historically, look at when the RSI was down here before. It was right here. Oh, that was a pretty damn good time to buy. Even here, pretty damn good time to buy. Even here, pretty damn good time to buy, right? You can go back in history. When everyone is buying, you are selling. And when everyone is selling, you are buying. It's a mind game. This is a game. You want to earn more money. Don't play the game like everyone else who loses money. 95% of people who enter crypto will lose money, period. Don't do what they do. The only way to do that is have clear-cut rules like we have just defined here in today's video. Let's get to the next one, XRP. Now, we notice a little something. We've got this red line peeking through. What does that tell us? We had this red line peek through here with XRP back in 2019. Turned out to be a pretty damn good time to buy as well. So now, let's say with XRP, you bought a little bit late. Let's say you bought around here, this 80-cent peak, and you're like, oh my God, this is going to be crazy. And let's say that right now, you're still in a lot of turmoil, because now we've fallen from 80 cents all the way down to this 30 cents, and it doesn't look like we're getting to 80 cents anytime soon. Like, what do you do in this scenario when you're holding a coin that you know you bought at a really bad time, that you know it's going to take some time to turn around, and every day you look at that portfolio, you're looking at coin market cap and you're looking at the coin, oh my God, Polkadot, $6.20. Why did I buy it when it was so high? Why did I do it? What you want to do is, it sounds like at the time you bought, you didn't have a rule. So establish rules now. Let's say with XRP, we'll give a live example here. With XRP, we'll use that example of the 80 cents. Let's say you bought at 80 cents and every day you're like, why the hell did I do that? This is a disaster. I want you to establish a rule now. When will you take profits? Maybe you'll take profits at $1. Maybe you still want to double that money. Maybe you want to sell at $1.60. You need to follow your rules and establish them now if you didn't establish them before. So let's hypothetically say you're going to sell at $1.60, right? If you're going to do that, follow the rest of your rules. We need to be above the moving averages, and we've got to be up here in the RSI, and then you're able to sell. But until then, who cares? Don't be emotional like everyone else. 95% of the people are going to lose money, and they're very emotional. Now you've got a clear rule. Okay, it's not at $1.60 yet. I'm good. Can it go down more? Who cares? I'm selling at $1.60, and that's all you're worried about, right? So have these rules. This will help you tremendously. Let's go to our last example, Dogecoin. All right. Let's say that you hypothetically got in Doge around 7 cents. Okay. So you got in here around 7 cents and you're like, I just want to double my money. I just want to go from 7 to 14 cents and then I'm good. So we come up here, 14 cents happened here. And you may say, wow, once you get there and it's really on the move, follow your rules. Don't do what the 95% will do, because then they'll say, "Oh, I'm not going to sell it at 14. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait it out." And they're probably still holding now when we fell all the way back down to 5. So at 14 cents when it comes, you ask yourself, Are we above the moving averages? Yes. So you've got one check mark, doubled your money. Second check mark, above the moving averages. Third check mark, we look at the RSI, bada bing, bada boom, we're in the money. It's time to sell. It's time to take our profits. Now let's hypothetically say you took that trade. You bought it around 7 cents and you sold around 14. Even though price rose all the way up here and everyone's saying it's going to be $1, we fell all the way at 5 cents. And we're currently at 5 cents. So you would look like a superhero, just following your rules. Success is a series of small wins. Most people think you need to buy and just, make huge gains with every trade. If you double your money a whole bunch of times, you are a superhero, plain and simple. You playing the smart game. You bought at 7, you sold at 14, and we've been at 5 cents for a whole bunch of time. Who cares that it went up further? It doesn't matter. You locked in your profits, and you could have bought back in at 5 cents and tripled the amount of holdings, the amount of coins you had, just with your buying power, just by being smart, following these simple rules. Share this with somebody who needs it. I'll see you right back here in the next video. Go to cryptocrewuniversity.com for more. I'll see you right back here. Do you want less stress and more success in crypto? Click this video right now.